mentoring and networking with women in media, and a look at some of your latest investment options. Welcome to Media Quarterly, a regular look at media trends brought to you by your and my industry fund, Media Super. I'm Tracey Spicer. This episode will speak to Media Super CEO Graeme Russel about boosting your super savings. But first, women in media networking events have blossomed around the country since starting in Western Australia a few years ago. Media Quarterly visited a recent event in Sydney.
The mission of Women in Media is fourfold, really. It's to provide mentoring opportunities, the opportunity to meet with your colleagues, share experience, industrial advocacy and support. And then the fourth idea is what we've had here tonight, which is professional input of a very high level.
Sponsored by Media Super, along with Mia and the Walkley Foundation, Women in Media events give women across the sector a rare opportunity to get together and discuss the challenges facing them and the industry.
I work in sport, so sometimes I feel like I may be the only one in that area, and women who work in politics, who work in crime, who work as producers. I just find that it's so inspiring to hear other women.
I personally am a mother as well as I'm a working mother, so I don't get a chance to go out socialising all that often. So that's very often seeing people outside an office is where you get to know people, as opposed to in the hard-nosed meeting.
I think the thing that I get out of it is I leave and I actually feel like I want to punch the air. As women, we all work so hard, and I think the thing to remember is as women we're all here to support each other.
Tonight's discussion topic is looking at the gap in confidence that often happens between men and women in a professional environment. On the panel are 7 News anchor Chris Barth, ABC News Director Kate Tawney and News Editor of The Conversation, Sunanda Cray.
I hope that it was a bit of a pep talk for people who maybe have been living with a voice in the back of their mind telling them that they're not ready for the next step in their career.
And I think the more that we talk and the more that we have discussions about being a woman in the media, the more chance we've got of changing the things that we don't like.
Mentoring is also a major focus of the Women in Media program.
I get a lot out of it, and I could say I probably learn as much, if not more, than my mentee in terms of some of the challenges and opportunities in the workforce, and I guess some of the things that I've learnt along the way that could be helpful to her.
More branches of Women in Media are springing up around the country, which means more opportunities to meet, mentor and discuss.
I think it's crucial to have women talking to each other as mentors and mentees, but also as peers, just to share experiences, to find out what other people are going through, and to make you feel like you are not alone in certain situations that you might come up against in your workplace.
Visit womeninmedia.net for events happening around your area. One of the concerns of women and older workers generally is whether they'll have enough superannuation saved for a comfortable retirement. Many women have had breaks from employment to raise a family, and workers in their 50s and 60s may only have had compulsory superannuation for half of their working lives. Well, Media Super CEO Graeme Russel has some hints to help those members. Thanks for your time, Graeme. Are there simple things that members can do to boost their super savings during their last years in the workforce?
Yes, Tracey, there's things that many members can do and without having to sacrifice their cash flow to really boost their super. For example, with some older members, their household budgets change as they do things like pay off the mortgage, stop paying school fees, and these are amounts of money that they could then contribute to their super through voluntary contributions or salary sacrifice without affecting their household budget. The second thing that members who are 55 or older can look at is a transition to retirement pension strategy. It's a little complex, but in its simple form, it involves members drawing pensions from their super account, making additional contributions through salary sacrifice into their super account, and in the process they convert their super to tax-free status in terms of earnings. And that's a really strong way for members of that age to boost their super savings.
Are there some other simple things that might also help people build their super?
Yes, there's a couple of simple things that everyone should be looking at. The first is to consolidate super accounts if they have multiple super accounts. There are thousands of Australians that have a number of super accounts. What that means is that they're paying multiple fees, they're potentially paying multiple insurance premiums. The second thing that people can do is go hunting for lost super. It's an incredible fact, but in this country there are millions of super accounts with $16 billion of lost super held by the tax office. In my experience, we've helped members find thousands of dollars of lost super, and in fact I think recently we helped one member roll together 19 super accounts.
Of course, the other way in which people's super accounts increase is through investment earnings. We've seen share markets in Australia and overseas rise strongly this year, very strongly, yet the Australian and world economies aren't in great shape. What's happening here? Is there a risk of a bubble that might burst?
Certainly markets have risen very strongly. The Australian market's up more than 10% this year, and the UK and American markets have surpassed their pre-GFC levels. One of the key reasons is because of easing monetary policy around the world, that is lower interest rates. And when interest rates are lower, people go looking elsewhere to earn decent returns. That means there's a lot of more people buying shares, particularly looking for good dividends. Certainly the American economy is doing well, but other economies around the world are not. Australia is not looking that good either. So as investors, we are concerned about the prospects for continuing increases when markets really do look to be overvalued. We remember the GFC and the negative impact that had on share markets and on people's lifetime savings. So what we've done is we've put in place a strategy called portfolio insurance, which is where we buy devices called put options that mean that if share markets do fall significantly, and by that I mean by more than 10%, these instruments that we're invested in will reduce the impact of that fall. We're one of the few funds to have done that. It doesn't mean that all losses that would be incurred in a significant fall would be offset, but it does mean that it would dampen the impact.
There's a lot there for super fund members, particularly older members, to be thinking about. How do we make it easy for them?
Well, Tracey, that's a fairly straightforward answer, and it's the answer that I give to all of my friends. See a financial planner. It's the best advice that I could give anyone. Now, I know there's been issues of trust in relation to financial planners in recent times in the media, but I just want to remind people that media super financial planners aren't paid commissions and they work for a not-for-profit fund, and we are run only to benefit members. The first hour with a financial planner is free, and the planner will then tell a member what costs might be involved for future advice. It is the best advice that I could give people.
Graeme, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks.
While we all have different super investment needs, many of us might not know about the options available or which ones are right for us. To talk you through some of the new investment options is Tim Waterson, one of Media Super's financial planners.
I'm Tim Waterson, I'm a Media Super financial planner. Recently we expanded the range of investment options we have. We added some new pre-mixed investment options and we added some asset-specific sector options. But also more recently, we've added some new specialised investment options. If you want to take greater control and manage your investment options, we've just introduced a great new choice, which is the direct investment option. So up until now, you've only been able to choose the pooled investments such as the balanced fund or the high growth fund or the stable fund, or our sector specific options like Australian shares or property. But now you can invest up to 90% of your money in Australian direct shares, which is shares that are listed on the ASX 300. You can invest in exchange traded funds, and you can invest in a range of term deposits. so it gives you a great range of investments to select from. So this is a great choice for you as an investor if you want more control and flexibility in what you choose. Another great investment choice is Smart Path. In many respects, it doesn't make sense to invest conservatively when you're in your early 20s or 30s. And conversely, it doesn't make sense to invest more aggressively when you're 60 and you're approaching retirement. So we've introduced a great new option that changes the balance of investment for you automatically as you grow older. So for example, in the early years of your working career, we invest a much greater degree in growth assets to get a higher level of return. So this is a great investment option for members that want a more set and forget strategy, but also want the benefit of moving the money as per their circumstances. So while you're carving out a career, Media Super can make sure that the investment is invested appropriately for your age and your circumstances. Australians are living a lot longer than ever before, quite often into their late 80s or even 90s. So Media Super has introduced a great new investment option for our members that are in pension phase. Lifetime Plus is designed to provide an income stream for life that's over and above the age pension. And it's designed for our members that want to choose a defensive option in retirement, and also where you want the income stream to carry over to your partner in the event of passing away. Now, Lifetime Plus is complex, so you must seek professional advice. Whatever your needs and retirement goals, Media Super has an option that's right for you. It's really important though that you read the relevant product disclosure statement, and it's always wise to seek professional financial advice. If you'd like more information, please look at our website or the contact details as provided.
It's always fascinating to see the many diverse ways we can invest our funds with Media Super. That's all we've got time for in this episode of Media Quarterly. For more information on any of these stories, go to mediasuper.com.au. I'll see you next time.